Hi guys! Today we're going to do a video with the most commonly asked questions that we get at our workshops and our webinars in regards to Instagram. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah. Alright, so we have, do you take photos for the week all in one day, or are you ladies on a daily photo grind? So this is something that we get asked all the time because it's really hard to get content for Instagram photos all the time. So
we do a mix of both. We do understand what needs to go on our Instagram on a weekly or monthly basis. So we do prepare for those pictures, but we also don't want our Instagram to be so rigid. So we do take some daily pictures, but we make sure that our skeleton of pictures is kind of figured out and done. And then we also take photos on a daily basis. So we really schedule out everything that needs to go out for that following week. And again, this is our business account. This is definitely different from a personal account. So we do schedule everything out that needs to go out, and then we take a bunch of photos, you know, probably that week. Yeah, and I would say it makes it easier for us too. Like here at Bloguettes, like Sakura said, it's a business. So by understanding what we need to communicate to our community, we can take the opportunity that if we have one photo shoot, we can maybe get the content for the whole month instead of trying to worry every day on how we're gonna get our content out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so next, how do you go about taking those super cute and trendy flat lays on the sheets of my bed without shadows and wrinkles, etc.? Okay, so it's definitely okay if you're taking it on your bed, there's wrinkles. I do it all the time. Another great thing that we use is we get these huge boards from Home Depot. I don't know what they're called. They're like big.
They're made out of wood.
Yeah, that's white. So we use that for a lot of our flat lay photos.
And then also the light. In regards to the shadows, there's not a lot of things we do, but what we really like to focus on is on having really good light for our pictures. So that makes a huge difference, don't you think?
Right, and that's why those boards are really important, because if you are inside and you don't have great lighting, then you can take your board outside or by the window and you get great lighting. So the boards really come in handy if you can just move it around. Next, do you think that having that Sony lens is useful if you have a full DSLR, or is it repetitive?
If you've been on some of our webinars or in our workshop, we usually tell you about this Sony detachable lens. It's a lens that you can use with your phone, and pretty much you can hold it in your hand and take a picture with your phone.
Yeah, it's called Sony QX10, or they have the QX100 that we always use.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say it's repetitive, because the DSLR is bigger. It's not like you can put it in your purse, and the lens is really good for taking pictures like on flat lays from the top. So I wouldn't think it's repetitive. You?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's definitely a use for it. So, you know, we would never use the Sony lens for a blog post type photo. We always use our DSLR for pictures for our blogs, for special events. We only really use a Sony lens when it's for an Instagram photo and we don't have our huge DSLR with us. We don't take our cameras everywhere, even though you probably think that we do. We just take our Sony lens everywhere, and it's just a great tool for us when we don't have a DSLR, and it just gives us a very high quality photo. And you can definitely check out our Sony QX10 lens review in our other YouTube video, but there's a use for both. And I think that if you are going to, and we get this question all the time, but if you're going to invest your money in getting, you know, which one you should get, I definitely would say the DSLR, just because you can do so much more than a Sony QX10 lens. But
it's a good accessory to have.
It's a good accessory to have, for sure.
Really good for low light too, so yeah.
What specific filters and editing process do you consistently use on your accounts?
So for us, and we always talk about this, but it's very important to be consistent, right? You don't want to have an Instagram account that it's all over the place. Specifically for us, we don't use a specific filter, even though we get asked this many times. We use all the tools that you have on different apps like Afterlight or even Instagram to edit each picture accordingly to achieve the look that we want.
Right, so we use a lot of the settings that comes with it. So for example, brightness, contrast, shadow, highlight. Those are the really important tools that you need to learn before you really use the filter, because filters are great and it can really make the entire picture look different, but every picture has a different lighting, has different colors. So just by adding a filter does not mean that your entire Instagram account is going to look consistent. So again, you need to know exactly what you're trying to achieve with each one of your Instagram photos and learn the basics of the editing and find a filter that can help you. We don't use, again, you know, we don't use filters a whole lot. It's really important for you to learn the basics of editing and then find a filter that complements your photos.
And by understanding those settings, you'll be able to really create your own look. You'll be able to understand if you like very bright pictures, you'll be able to use brightness, and you won't have to necessarily rely just on one restrictive filter. So
exactly. And by the way, we use Afterlight, like Lorena said. I personally use ViscoCam for certain pictures. Every photo editing app has a different user experience, so that's also another reason why, like, we have, you know, we really like Afterlight.
Yeah.
When is the best time to post a giveaway, and how many days should it be open for?
Well, I would say that there's not a best time to post a giveaway, except for every account is different. We suggest that you get Iconosquare, and you'll be able to learn more about your Instagram account and how your trends are within your account, your statistics, your numbers, and then you'll identify when the best time is to post a giveaway, because you'll be posting it usually at the moment in time where you will get the more engagement. So, but each account is different. For Bloguettes, is very different than what Sakura gets on her account. So I would highly suggest, we would highly suggest for you to get Iconosquare and determine when your followers are the most engaged, and that would be the time to post a giveaway. In regards to how long should be open for, you should also know that Instagram pictures are not active, well, even though they're in your account forever, your users, because there's content generated all the time, there comes a point in time where your picture doesn't show up anymore. So they do have restricted, I would say, lifespan for giveaways, but again, it's up to your account.
Right, exactly. I think it's basically, if you have an Instagram giveaway that's longer than 24 hours, there's really no use for it, because like Lorena said, the lifespan of an Instagram, you know, post is usually, you know, at the most, you know, 12 hours typically, at the very most. And a lot of Instagram, the lifespan of a photo, you know, depending on the account again, but it's like, you know, 2, 3 to 6 hours. So, you know, again, it all depends on your followers. But, you know, there's really no point of having a Instagram giveaway for more than 24 hours because people aren't going to see it. So yeah, that's definitely my take on it. But again, the best time to post, that's another question that we get all the time, but it really depends on your following. They say on average 5 to 6 p.m. is the best time to post, but I personally see a better engagement when it's between 6 to 7, because 5, everyone's getting off of work, everyone's busy, everyone's running errands. So, you know, 6 to 7, I see a better engagement. But they say on Google, on other websites, that 5 to 7 is the best time.
Yeah.
So, should you put hashtags in the caption or in a later comment post of the photo?
I guess that's up to you. Again, first, let's just talk about hashtags for a second. I think hashtags, you need to use them wisely. There's no point, they're not gonna help you at all if you go and hashtag your whole comment. Hashtag I, hashtag 8, hashtag donut, that doesn't give you anything. So understanding what hashtags work for you is the first step. And once you identify what hashtags work for your account and how more people can find you, because that's the real purpose of hashtag, then it's up to you, I would say, in my opinion, if you want to put it on your comment or on the caption. For me particularly, I'm not attracted to captions that are just full of hashtags.
Yeah.
So I incline more for the option of just putting all of those hashtags, if you really want to use a lot, in a comment that you can delete later, because that's way cleaner. I love clean accounts. I don't like the messy of the hashtags. So, but again, it's a personal, don't you think?
Yeah, and hashtags are definitely just another way for you to brand your Instagram account. So people use it, you know, in a funny way, or people don't use it at all. I think that, you know, you can definitely use like 3 to 4 hashtags in your caption. If you want to use more, then I think it's important for you to add it into a comment that you can delete later, like Lorena said. But yeah, and just FYI, you cannot hashtag a bunch by adding a comment into a photo that you added weeks ago and act like and expect a lot of likes and following from that, because it doesn't work that way. So again, if you are going to put it in a comment, do it right away, right when you post that photo. I have my personal Instagram that I use, and then for my brand, do you recommend to have 2 Instagrams or keep them together?
I guess that depends on who you, like, we get asked that all the time. So I guess it depends what your business is and who you are as a person, right? So for example, for us, Bloguettes, it's our brand, it's our business, and it obviously has its own account. Because it's not just a girl and I, it's just a whole company. And we also want to have our own Instagram accounts to be able to show who we are, and also be able to grow our credibility independently and be able to show the people who is behind those brands. But for example, if we didn't have Bloguettes, or I didn't have Bloguettes or any of the other businesses, and I was just a blogger, I would have my Instagram be the same as the one for my blog.
Yeah, especially if you're a personal blogger, or if it's your personal blog, or if you are a fashion blogger. It's always nice to keep it in one, because again, people love to see, you know, your real life personal side, and it's always nice to have it in one. Now, if you just do food blogging and your blog has nothing to do with you, it's just recipes, then maybe creating another account just for those food posts might be a better idea. Again, it really depends on your business, what type of blog you have, but it's always nice to keep it together. For example, like Lorena said, we have our business account for Bloguettes, but then we both have our personal account, and I also have a personal blog, and you know, I don't have a separate Instagram account for that. I keep it together. So,
and also take into consideration the time that it takes to maintain, grow, and engage on an Instagram account. So if you have the content, so if you have the possibility to keep them together, that's great, because again, we're all here because we want to use Instagram for the benefit of our business, of ourselves to grow. So just think about that, right?
Yep. Now, that's really it, but there's obviously so many other questions that we get asked all the time when it comes to Instagram. So definitely join us for our Instagram webinar.
Thank you so much for being with us on this video. We hope to see you at any of our webinars or workshops. And yeah, if you have any other additional questions, just email us.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.